Yada boop boop. Yada la lily dee. You do 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 diddly dee doodly doo diddly dee.
As the dust settles from the epic battle between the forces of Bang the Bonkerer and the nerdy photo crew. What in the Deathly Hollows Part 2 is this place? I'm sorry, how did you get in here? You're not supposed to be in here. I don't even know how I got here. What is this place? Where am I? It has many names, but many refer to it as, what does it say here in the stage directions? Oh, there it is. Narrator's office. Not sure about the decor. Very white and glowy. I don't know if I could work in this environment. Way too bright. We can discuss interior decor another time. I don't know how this is possible that we're having this conversation. We've talked before, you know. Yes, but you were in your own story and I was here. You merely heard me. You were not in the place between worlds. A much cooler name, but I feel like I've heard it somewhere before. How can you not know how I got here? Aren't you a third-person omniscient narrator? Yes. Kind of goes against the whole omniscient thing. That point is not lost on me. Let's try to walk this whole situation back a bit. What do you remember before you arrived here? The crew and I were battling Bang the Bonkerer and his minions. Things weren't looking too good. We were pretty beat down. Yes. Bang had you in his sights and was about to deliver the coup de grace. And then, as I lay there thinking all hope was lost, but I still had to pull myself to my feet and fight on, I felt something nudging me. I turned, and it was my robot dog, Lightning, from the Quantum Sheep episode. And then I saw these gateways and portals opening up, and our friends from our past adventures started pouring out. Everybody was there. Super cool photographer, Hamdo Bane, Huna Versus and the Blue Boogie Border, the Space Pirates, William Weird, Dr. What? Truly a spectacle. Derivative, but a spectacle. It was. Both of those things. I feel like the grandeur of this moment might be slightly lost in a solely audio format. You could always do an animated version. Easy there, Big Shoots. That would take significant time and effort. My apologies for making that suggestion. Where was I? Oh yeah, so both sides were staring each other down. The tension was building, and I lifted the camera obscura over my head and I shouted, "Nerdy photo crew! Let's these guys up!" Very poetic. Hush. And then it was on. An epic battle, the tide of victory shifting back and forth with each passing moment, until Bang and I stood across from one another, both of us knowing love is a battlefield. Exactly. And as we circled one another, you realized you were both sides of the same coin? No. Dick and Sporty showed up and plowed into him with the Vandalorian. It gave us an opening, so I decided to use the camera obscura, but the battery was low, so Rule of 3 RDS sacrificed herself by giving up her reactor core to power the camera, and I hit the shutter button, and then there was a really, really bright white light, and I was here. Usually I thought I just looked at my own flash as it went off. Interesting. Very interesting. Any ideas? I actually have a hypothesis. You're omniscient. I expected better from you. I know everything that happens in your realm, but we're in uncharted territory here. You have the camera obscura with you there. Can I see it? Ah, yes, look, here, inside.
What's happened to me? What am I doing in here? What have you done? I'll get you for this. It's the last thing I ever do.
What is that? That is a very, 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 very small Bang the Bonkerer. You were somehow able to capture him within the camera. I think you're at a nexus in your journey. You have taken this thing that causes you so much fear and anger and trouble, and you've shrunk it down to a very small and manageable size. He's always going to be there. At least you know where he is now, and how to handle him. And that's your tiny Bang hypothesis? We can workshop that name. No, it plays. The name plays. So, what are you going to do? Man in Black fled across the desert, and the gunslinger followed. Pardon? Well, I'm not sure where I'm headed, but I don't want to keep traveling the same roads I've been down before. So, are you changing the format? Am I still going to have a job? I don't know. I just don't know. But what I do know is that I'm going to enjoy myself.
Do 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 ba da dee da ba da dee doo doo da ba dee dee beedly dee beedly dee doo ba dee da ba da dee ba dee da ba dee.
Hey there, listeners. I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart for helping the Nerdy Photographer podcast reach 100 episodes. I do this show for you guys. I know you're probably thinking, but Casey, what about all those big podcast dollars you're earning? Well, once those start rolling in, I will still make you, the listeners, my number one priority. Don't worry about it. I have to say that I felt a lot of pressure to make something big for this since it's the 100th episode, and it held me back a lot, actually. I let perfect be the enemy of good enough, and I stressed out a lot. There's a lot going on for me outside of the podcast. Actual photography work is really abundant at the moment, and I'm certainly not complaining about that. It simply gives me less time to devote to the podcast. I've also had some physical and mental health issues that I needed to address. That being said, I think the time of regularly scheduled adventure episodes is probably over for the time being. It doesn't mean the Nerdy Photo Crew is going away, but any adventures in the future will be bonus episodes. It takes a lot of time and energy to write and produce them, and I would rather go get you more interviews with photographers in the business than sit around worrying about how I'm going to put one of these episodes together. And I have about half a dozen new episodes that are ready to go, so get ready for new interviews. I'm really excited to keep moving forward with this podcast. Thanks again to everyone who has contributed to these first 100 episodes, and to all listeners out there. Stay tuned, stay safe, and stay nerdy.